As a Christian man, do you ever feel like you're just behind? Do you ever feel like you don't know what your purpose is and you're constantly comparing yourself, feeling like you're abnormal because you don't have it all figured out, and it almost leaves you empty and hopeless? And I know you're sick of people telling you God has a plan for you, you just need to be patient and you just need to trust him. And that's true, but it's not that simple. So I was in the same boat as you guys literally a year ago. I had no money to my name. I had no idea what I wanted my future job to be. I constantly felt behind from my peers. My football career was going down the drain and I truly did not know where I was going to go. So I started chasing this idea of purpose because I was afraid of what people thought of me, and all I was worried about was showing that I wasn't a failure. So this caused me to constantly go from thing to thing. I transferred in football. I had tons of different ideas and I never went in on one thing, and I constantly was blaming other people and never blaming myself. And what I realize now is when you're chasing purpose from this place of insecurity to fill this void, you'll never stay in something long enough for it to actually grow. So for me, my quote unquote purpose for my whole life was football. And I never had a motivation problem. I never had a discipline problem. I constantly was working hard. I constantly was quote unquote doing all the right things. But you know what the real problem was? It was an identity problem. So I had an identity problem. I used to think if I threw a touchdown pass and became the starting quarterback, then everything was going to be okay. But when I didn't get those results, it crushed me and it made me start lying to everyone in my life to show that I wasn't a failure. So all my attention was going to proving that I wasn't a failure, to proving that I was enough. So I wasn't focusing on actually growing and getting better and becoming that quarterback that was ready to play. I just worried about how can I make myself feel worthy. So when your worth is tied to outcomes, purpose is going to become pressure. Without realizing it, you already have all the purpose and the opportunity you need in your life, but you're blinded to it because your blessings became expectations. You're not using the situations that God gave you already to find purpose because you think that you have to find it somewhere else, and it's all to just fill your own personal void. Now you put yourself in this position where you feel empty 24/7 because you can't see the goodness and the grace that's already in front of you. So now you're constantly telling yourself, once I get this, once I find my purpose, everything's going to be okay. And guess what? You might find that purpose and then you're going to have the same feeling and you're going to want more and more and more. So when I started to realize that the emptiness I felt, the lack of purpose that I felt wasn't God abandoning me or punishing me, it was me trying to earn the identity that God had already given me through Christ. So when I started to embrace that the only reason I even wanted purpose was for myself and my own personal gain and not even for God, and I started to embrace my weakness, that I'm not abnormal for feeling this way because it's clear I was born into sin. I'm a sinner by nature and all I do is mess up and I'm only evil continually, as it says in Genesis 5. And when I embrace that about myself, God's grace and his word that says I'm a new creation, it says I'm perfected once and for all through Jesus, it says that I'm sanctified, it says that I'm sealed, I already am a saint, that's when I realized, wow, I don't deserve a thing, but I gained everything. So now I just have to learn to walk from who I already am. So when you stop trying to prove that you matter, you finally get the peace and the security to actually build something that does matter. You get rooted in who you already are, a saint representing God here on earth until you go back home to heaven with him. That's when God starts to work. That's when he starts to use you. Not because you earned it, but because Jesus earned it and you simply just accepted what he already made you.